What's been clicking for you guys this early on in the season?
I just think we have a lot of depth, and I think it's showing a little bit. I think our scoring that we added over the summer with the moves that we made, I think it's paying off pretty good, and just playing hard in the D zone, and then getting the puck up to the forwards.
After the last game, a bunch of talk was focused on kind of your guys' pushback. Heading into tomorrow's game, what's kind of that mentality as well?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we have a group that battles for each other. You can tell so far in the season, and even if we get down, fight a little adversity, we got guys that can push back, and it's exciting. I think that we can play kind of any style we can play, and most importantly, just playing our game and doing what we know we can do.
Special teams has looked pretty strong too as well around the season. Has there been a specific emphasis during practice on that, or has that just been kind of as the season sorted out, letting it flow?
Yeah, it's always something that we've kind of preached to try and get better at. I think that's a good way to gain momentum, power play and penalty kills. So, yeah, guys get excited to be on special teams, and it's good to build momentum for us.
And defensively, heading into Ottawa, what are some of the things that they do well, and then what are you guys trying to focus on? I know you talked about pushing back and being physical, but just other ice stuff.
They got a lot of skill and a lot of power forwards, and they know how to put the puck in the net. They've made some good additions too, so it'll be fun. It's a battle that we're going to have hopefully for the next 5-10 years. So this is just one of them, and we're excited to go.
Sweet. Thanks, Wally.
Can you expect tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll see, I guess. I'm not expecting a very warm one, but I think it'll be a good game between two good teams, and should be a fun one.
It's got to feel different than, since you're only there for 1 year, than your return last year in Chicago.
Yeah, for sure. I think a little different circumstances, and obviously not as much time there, but still formed some great relationships there. Have a lot of good buddies on that team, but we're going in there for business, and hoping to come away with 2 points.
You and Pop talked about kind of their rise and kind of what they do well as a team. What stands out to you about you versus them tomorrow?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of skill on both teams, and play similar styles. I think both teams want to play north and play with a lot of speed. So, like I said, it should be a good game. Should be a fun one. Obviously, it's early in the year, but every point matters, and it's a pretty important one in division, and yeah, it should be good.
Have you watched them much this season? Are you keeping tabs on them?
Yeah, I watched them a little bit. I think, like I said, I have a couple buddies on the teams, a lot of buddies, I guess. So it's fun to watch, people you're friends with and see how they're doing. And, obviously it'll be a little different playing them, but, it's just a fun team to watch for sure.
You guys feel like you're building something in here? I mean, when Pittsburgh kind of threatened and made it close, you guys were able to maintain composure and ultimately pull away again.
Yeah, I think that's something you need to learn to do, and there's going to be a lot of close games this year that we need to close out, and it's good we're learning early in the season how to do that, and hopefully we can keep that up.
Were you cognizant of some of the stuff that came out of Ottawa about he doesn't want to be here, good riddance, that kind of stuff, or?
Yeah, I mean, over the summer when a lot of that stuff was coming out, I saw a little bit of it, but it is what it is. I think, I know what happened behind closed doors, and what the situation was, and a lot of stuff coming out wasn't exactly how it played out. So, it is what it is. They'll write what they want to write, and that's fine with me.
Are you glad it's getting out of the way early? I mean, it's 10 days into the season or so.
Yeah, I guess there's some positives and negatives. I think it's still fresh. I think last year when we played Chicago, it was later in the season, had some time, away from them, and it wasn't so, fresh in the mind. So, it's going to be a little different, but, like I said, we're there for business. We want to win the game, and, all the outside noise kind of shuts off once the game starts.
The 2 games last February had a pretty big impact on kind of both teams' directions at that point. What do you remember about those games, and what do you want to kind of take in being on the other side of it?
Yeah, I think we were a couple points behind the Wings at that point, and back-to-back on home ice was very important for us. So those were important games for both, but I think we kind of hunkered down a little bit harder and played with a little bit more pace, and obviously won those games, and they were 2 important games. So that was good, but I think we can take a lot from that. I think they're not easy to play in their building. I think we can go in there, and if we have a strong start, we can, hopefully take one from them.
Is there a sense of sort of rivalry naturally setting in, just given where the two teams are in the division and trying to push up in the standings, or is it, I don't know, no real different than any other kind of division matchup?
No, definitely. I think there's definitely a rivalry there. I think each team wants to prove they're better than the other, and I think we played them a couple times, and obviously in division matchups are always important. But it seems that I know being on the other side of it, we were definitely fired up to play the Wings, and they're definitely important games to kind of mark yourself throughout the league.
Derek, how you've talked the other day about how every game in the division conference is such a gauntlet. How good will this tomorrow be? Just there was so much emotion to the ones in February. Just a test of kind of where you guys are at and what you still need to work on.
Yeah, I know the media thinks those were huge games and why we traded everyone and emotional and big. In our locker room, there were just two more games, and I don't say that. Whatever the visual is, what it is, we would have bounced back from that. We had games like that throughout the year. Just having to be at the deadline, there's no doubt in my mind we still would have done what we did at the deadline if we even won those two games. So I don't want to downplay it, but for me, it's just another game versus a top team in the league that's proving themselves to maybe as good as there is in our division. You look player for player, you look at their roster, their 12 forwards, their 6D, who they acquired for their goaltender, and this is a legit top team in our league. It's just no different than we've seen playoff cup contender in Tampa, playoff cup contender in New Jersey, playoff cup contender in Tampa. It's just another really good challenge for us within the division.
As far as holes in your game, what do you think you need to?
Well, we just need to clean up some mistakes, some sloppiness in our play. I mean, looking for in the last two games, we got bailed out in period one by Columbus with some exceptional goaltending, and I would say the same in the third period against Pittsburgh. We got bailed out with some exceptional goaltending in the third. We also had to block over 20 shots the other night. That means they had the puck a lot. Love the attitude or ability to want to block shots. But the message today was we're getting exceptional goaltending, and we're outscoring our mistakes. It's not sustainable. So we'd love to clean up some of those bad reads within our zones, bad reads on our track that gave easy offense to our last two opponents.
Same forward group, is Fabry still?
Good. I appreciate asking Fabry because the timing. Fabry's out a month now. So we had a little more testing, dug in a little deeper with some medical testing. He's out 1 month. And then we had a forward leave practice at the end of practice today, banged up. So if that forward can't play, we'll probably go 11-7 or more, which I have no problem doing on the road.
Is Fabry a month from today? A month
from today. Okay. 4 weeks was what I was told by our medical staff this morning.
Is it more knee issues?
No. Lower body, not his knee.
But it happened, I mean, you said it happened late in New Jersey. He scored in the last.
It happened late in New Jersey. He skated the next day. We almost played him the next day. So it was a true day-to-day. And then as it didn't respond well throughout the week with those skates, they did some deeper testing, and they found something that they did not like. So he's going to be out 1 month.
Will you bring somebody just because you're going on the road?
We will, especially with losing a forward at the end of practice today. We'll have someone meet us, something Steve and I haven't even talked about yet.
Are all 7 defensemen available? I know a couple were back.
Yep, they're all available. Yep, yes.
And Vila tomorrow?
Billy tomorrow, yep.
And then Reimer on?
I'd expect us to play Reimer on Sunday.
When you look at Ottawa's back end now, and they brought Chikrin in last year, but he kind of is now a full part of it. When you look at how well they move, what are the challenges?
And we've been exposed of late, just the ability to get up in the rush. We've been beat up the ice in the last 2 games on some occasions that led to some easy offense. So this will be no different. Obviously, not only can those D move on the back end, they attack like that. So similar message going into this game.
How much of the giving up offense the other way has been kind of decisions at the blue line, whether it's pinches or kind of...
No, not. I think it's more, for me, it's been more in the zone. where you look at their 2 third-period goals, where it ended up being a low to high, where we arrived with numbers, and then we didn't have a good read in the sort, and all of a sudden you have Carlson tops of the circles with the puck and a shot lane. So I think it's more of that.
With the power play, obviously off to a good start, I think 6 for 13. But beyond that, are you seeing just more crispness and entries and zone time and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I would say our 5-on-5 play, again, it's a lot of questions if we're doing anything different offensively. Not really. I think it's more of take what's given, and these guys right now, there's some confidence going on there. We're making plays, and that's on the power play, and that's on our 5-on-5.
How important has that Comfort Cop Rasmussen line been in terms of taking? I know you don't get to choose the matchups as much
Yeah.
on the road, but
One, they're obviously all 3 very good players, but they're 200-foot players, and they're proud 200-foot players. And it wasn't exact on a matchup the other night with how much Pittsburgh was playing Crosby and Malkin. They were chasing all night, so we couldn't get them out all the time, but right after the Columbus game, that line came and asked me for Crosby. So I just think it's a mentality of who they want to be and what they are.
Maybe off the wall one here, but you guys, with your 3 goalies, you guys go to Ottawa. In baseball, teams will keep a starting pitcher home, send him there. Is that something you would ever consider doing?
Yeah, something going on. Not this weekend, but
Yeah.
of course. We'll use the benefit of having 3 goalies. Still, we want to get Alex in. But hopefully, obviously, Villy and Reimer both off really, really, really impressive performances. Hopefully that stays the same, but we're still going to look to get Alex Lyon a start here.
Would like the outside the box thinking in theory.
Yeah, of course,
James is
there will
gonna
be,
go
yeah, but
Sunday.
not, yeah, absolutely, but not,
Cool.
no
Yeah.
different we did
Yeah.
in the past.
What have you seen from Hoos early on this season? I know that last season you talked about the strides he made, but what have you seen from him so far this year?
Similar team, had a really good camp, productive camp. He had a really good offseason. He looks in great shape. You can just see him physically looks in great shape. But a complete performance the other day. And he played fine in the New Jersey game, had big saves. There's a couple goals he would want back. Very similar in our Tampa game in which we won. Played great at times. There's some goals he wants back. We want to eliminate those type of goals. He did that the other night versus Pittsburgh, and he was a huge part of our win. So now we love a little consistency, and hopefully he can repeat that performance.
Am I wrong? And he looks more, to 200 feet away, he looks more confident on the rim ends and puck handling. Is that something that, I know it was building last year, but is that something you see even more so with him now?
Yeah, it's, I think, growth in it. We work on it constantly. Good puck mover, not a great puck mover. We knew that. Him coming in, it's something you need to grow on. So, and I think it's something you can improve on with reps and practice. And I go to my experience in Tampa Bay, but you guys probably don't remember this. Andrei Vasilevsky was not good at playing the puck, and was something Franjean worked on daily, and it became a strength of his. Right now, he's an elite puck mover, so I just think it's something you can develop and grow, and he's working on it. Thanks.